Hello again. Today, I'm going to try an entirely unplanned video where I go through and talk about, demonstrate how I would make a 3-track piece, maybe 4, probably 3, where we use the ambient style method and create something that covers the low frequency ranges, the mid frequency ranges, and the higher frequency ranges on the different tracks. And we also think about whether they're persistent or whether they're occasional or somewhere in between. In other words, whether the sound is constantly going on or almost constantly, or whether it just comes in occasionally. We're also going to think about how present it is. Like, is it really close to the microphone or really far away? We're also going to think about whether it's more left or more right, more left or more right. So where it is in the stereo field, for example. So you've got 3 parameters there. You've got frequency range from low to high. You've got where it sits in the stereo field, left and right. And you've got how present it is. Let's do this. This is entirely unplanned. I'm going to use the instruments that we have used before. So let's start off with Wavetable here. Double-click Wavetable and have it show up down here. That's the default sound. Let's go ahead and set our tempo really low. Like 64, something like that. Okay, nice and low, right? And since I already know I'm going to do something ambient, I'm going to go ahead and add, I'm going to work, like I've talked about in another video, I'm just going to work directly into an echo. Here we are. Let's go ahead and throw a compressor on the end here somewhere. Okay, so now we've got a little bit more volume. That's just to catch the peaks in case there are any, but for right now we're not going to worry about that. So we've got our initial sound here. Before we do really anything, we've really done nothing except just kind of pick this sound here. Let's turn on the other oscillator. Let's go ahead and pan these. Start getting a stereo field here. So this will be our low end sound. So I don't think we're gonna cut off the low end much. Maybe, let's see. Sometimes if you create a high pass filter and then you give it some resonance and then you find it'll cut off the really low end. See, it starts at 123 hertz here and rolls it off. Let's make it filter with some more character. These are the more distorted models. Okay, that's kind of a little bit grainy, gritty sound. Very simple, I haven't done much to it yet. Now let's go back to our echo here. I'm going to work back and forth with them so I can, you'll notice if you're hopefully listening in stereo in your headphones or in monitors that there's a left and right echo, and if I offset them, if I make this one a little bit faster, for percentage wide. This one a little bit slower. You'll notice instantly that it makes the stereo field wider. So there's without it. You can also sync the delays, so the left and the right are together, or you can unsync them. There's also a nice reverb over here that I like to put. Here's some options where it can go. So this is after the echo. This is before the echo. I like putting it in the feedback loop. That means the reverb is affecting just the echo sounds while it's in the feedback loop. These feedback, every echo you hear. Let's cut off the low end a little bit. This is a filter, just like the other filters, that allows you to. So if you just want to, you can just filter just the echoes. See, so we can make them really thin. So here's the source sound, and there's the echoes, and they're very thin now. You can move them up here. Right? But let's see what. There we go. Okay, so what happens if we make the all wet, so it's all echo? Ping pong delay will move it back and forth left and right, which it's hard to hear when it's going this slow. We'll talk about mid-side a little bit later. Right now, I'll just leave it for stereo. Feedback, of course, is how many echoes you want. So if you just want 1 or 2, it's going to do that. And if I want a lot more, if I want it to really go on for a long while, turn it up. What I just did here is I changed it from syncing with the timeline to make a really interesting sound when you the pitch gets shifted around when you change the timing, which you can use. You can attach an LFO to this and do that on purpose. But for right now, oh, listen to how long that. Feedback is up so high, it's called self-oscillating. To turn it back down, it should stop. Yeah, so you can use that for an effect. So it seems like, let's see, above what, 70? Maybe 70? It seems like because we have our filters set like this, these higher frequencies keep self-oscillated. They keep looping back inside the echo to create that high-pitched sound, which we can then filter here, or we can add a filter afterwards. We can control it here with the feedback. Trying to find our sweet spot where it'll last a long time but then fade out. Still going. Looks like we're getting some distortion here. I think I mentioned during class that being able to manipulate feedback can lead you to some really interesting territory. Of course, this is all digital feedback, but it still is working pretty well. Yeah, I think we've tamed it. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Okay, and again, we haven't done really anything with our wavetable. We're just messing around. We're using echo as an instrument. We're using a delay as an instrument. And by fine-tuning it and tweaking it and messing around with it, that's really holding on those high notes, isn't it? Might be able to use that. Okay, let's go back to our wavetable. I keep hitting two notes at the same time here because I haven't used this lighted keyboard in a while. So I keep hitting both of them like that. Anyways, so let's go back to our wavetable here, and so we didn't mess around at all with our amplitude envelope. Right now the sound is just coming straight on. Let's go ahead and soften that way up. It takes a lot longer for the sound to come to full volume. Maybe even longer. Let's add an arpeggio here, arpeggiator at the beginning, and see how slow we can make it go. Let's drag one down here. Let's press play. And I'll just hold a note here. Well, to hold. Let's see if we can get it going really slowly. We got just a tiny bit of that. That might work to have one of the LFOs, maybe one of the envelopes, move those around a little bit. Let's change this oscillator 1 position with LFO 1. Right now it's going really fast. Let's slow it way down. We click on LFO 1, which is here. This is here. So I'm actually going to do it like this. Here's LFO 1. Let's take that and slow it down. Slow it way down. So you'll notice this button here, this R button for a reset. What this does is every time a note is triggered, remember our arpeggiator over here is triggering notes. You'll notice when a minute ago when this was set, you'll notice right there, every time a note is triggered, it resets the LFO. It puts it back to this position. I don't want it to do that. I want it to move as if I'm doing this. Right? As if I'm moving the wavetable position myself. So I'm going to turn that off. And now it will not reset when a note is hit. It's still kind of jumping around a little bit, but it's not resetting. So let's do the same thing to oscillator 2. Yeah, it's doing it too much. I think it's going too high. Turn that down. Oscillator 2 position. It shows up here. Let's use LFO 2. Let's have it go negative. And our speed on LFO 1 is 0.03 hertz. Let's go a little bit faster on this one. And now LFO 2 is modulating this wavetable. Good. Okay, with a pretty simple setup, our arpeggiator and our wavetable is running in a really simple. We're just using the basic shapes here. I think part of the key of this is having a nice filter, and then also having nice filtering and a nice setup on the echo. We spent quite a bit of time adjusting our echo, so that's good. Let's see what happens if we go down here to this section here. It has effects you can use on the wave shapes. I don't think I didn't show this before, but you can have effects on them. I'm not going to go into this in great detail, but let's see if we can we should modulate this parameter just slightly. Let's modulate this one with LFO1. Let's modulate it just a little bit. There we go. We get a little bit of brighter sound. You hear that? The right channel. Oscillator 2 is in the right channel. See what happens if we, let's go to the matrix here, and let's go to the matrix here and have this warp parameter be adjusted to the negative by LFO2. Now we've got quite a bit of movement going on. That's a pretty good sound. Let's add this saturator. See what we get. Trying different. It's too much distortion. So there we go. So what I'm trying to do here is match the output so that when I turn it off, it's the same volume. So that way you can actually tell what it sounds like, because sometimes things sound better just because they're louder. You can kind of pick the frequencies you want to emphasize with your distortion. Kind of like the more low-end growly thing. Anyways, we can go through this whole bit another time. There's whole videos on this online. This basically just gives it a bit of distortion. There's a ton of tools like this out on the market. For plugins and things. Looks like our right side is a little bit louder. So let's go to our wavetable, and the right side is oscillator 2. Turn it down a little bit. Okay, maybe a little reverb. I'm tempted to add an amp and cabinet, but I think I'll add that to a different sound. There we go. Maybe that makes such a dirty, gritty sound when you move it around. You could automate that and make it more interesting. Sometimes you can end up using so much reverb, and then you come back to it later and you go, wow, that is really swimming in reverb. Your ears can get used to it. So I'm trying not to do that. That's all reverb. Which you can use full wet to determine what frequencies your reverb is actually using. There we go. All right. Just for fun, let's see if we can add a phaser to this. As you know, phasers are my favorite. Probably gonna be really drastic. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. How did our compressor get there? Did I put it there? Yes, I did. Let's put it at the end. Okay. That's a pretty swimmy sound. What does warmth do? Let's see. Add slight distortion and filtering to a warmer sound. Warmer usually means, when you hear warmer in audio, what it usually means is they've rolled off the high end. They've basically done a low pass of some kind. Kind of like that. Kind of spacey. Maybe a bit much. Alright. Still not fully satisfying the sound, but it's something. So that's like sound number 1.